A McDonald's that served customers for 3 decades has shut its doors for good. Not because the food declined. Not because customers stopped coming. The owner said it plainly. The economics no longer work. Scott Rodrick operated this McDonald's inside San Francisco's Stonestown Galleria for 30 years. 30 years of Big Macs, Happy Meals, and McFlurries. Then, in June 2024, a handwritten note appeared on the door saying goodbye. In it, Rodrick explained that unprecedented changes to California's economic landscape, combined with a series of poorly timed legislative mandates, had drastically narrowed the restaurant's ability to continue into another lease term. Translated from corporate language, it meant this: he could no longer make money there. He described the closure as gut-wrenching for his family. This wasn't a decision made by executives in a boardroom. It was one man watching something he built over 30 years disappear. And he's far from alone. Over the past 18 months, California's fast food industry has shed between 10,000 and 23,000 jobs, depending on the study you look at. Pizza Hut laid off 1,200 delivery drivers before the new wage law even took effect. Rubio's shut down 48 locations and has filed for bankruptcy twice in just 4 years. In total, more than 500,000 fast food workers across the state have been affected. That's 500,000 people who saw their jobs, hours, or paychecks change almost overnight. So what's really happening to California's fast food industry? Before we go further, what state are you watching from? And are you still eating at McDonald's? I'm curious. Now, let me show you the numbers. If you want to understand why your Big Mac costs what it does today, hit subscribe. Because the data I'm about to walk through explains exactly what's happening to fast food in America. On April 1st, 2024, California raised the minimum wage for fast food workers from $16 to $20 an hour. That's a 25% jump overnight for employees at chains with 60 or more locations nationwide. This change impacted over 500,000 fast food workers across roughly 30,000 restaurants in California. That workforce alone is larger than the entire population of some U.S. states. And yes, $20 an hour sounds great. At full time, that's about $41,600 a year. But here's what the research shows. In July 2025, the National Bureau of Economic Research, economists from UC San Diego and Texas A&M, released a study with a clear conclusion. California's fast food sector lost around 18,000 jobs compared to what would have occurred without the wage increase. Employment dropped to 7% relative to the rest of the country. While fast food jobs were growing across America, California was moving in the opposite direction. Another economist, Christopher Thornburg from Beacon Economics, says the number is even higher: 23,100 jobs lost in just the past year. California's own Employment Development Department revised its data and reported that limited service restaurants saw a decline of 21,500 jobs. And here's the twist almost no one expected. A third analysis came from the Berkeley Research Group. This study was funded by the same union that advocated for the $20 minimum wage. Even that report found 10,700 jobs had disappeared. The authors called it the sharpest decline this century outside of the Great Recession and the COVID-19 pandemic. Let that sink in. Even the groups that supported the wage hike had to acknowledge that jobs were lost. 3 different studies, 3 different figures, but all pointing in the same direction. What makes this even more striking is when the layoffs began. They started before the law officially took effect. In December 2023, Pizza Hut franchise owners in California looked ahead, ran the numbers, and acted. They filed WARN Act notices announcing the elimination of all delivery driver positions. Every single one. Pack Pizza LLC and Southern California Pizza Company alone cut more than 1,200 jobs across Orange, Los Angeles, Riverside, San Bernardino, and Ventura counties. Another 800 workers were laid off in Sacramento, Central California, and the Reno-Tahoe region. One driver who spent 9 years at Pizza Hut told Business Insider he was offered just $400 in severance. $400 for 9 years of service, about $44 per year of loyalty. After the layoffs, Customers were pushed to DoorDash, Grubhub, or Uber Eats if they wanted delivery. Pizza Hut effectively washed its hands of the problem. But Pizza Hut wasn't the only one. Have you noticed your favorite fast food spot disappearing? Drop a comment and tell me which restaurants have closed near you. I want to know what's happening where you live. Now, let's talk about Rubio's Coastal Grill, the company that invented the fish taco. It started in San Diego in 1983 and, at its peak, operated nearly 200 locations. On May 31st, 2024, Rubio's shut down 48 California restaurants in a single day, 13 in San Diego, 24 across the Los Angeles area, and 11 in Northern California. Just like that, workers showed up and learned they no longer had jobs. 5 days later, Rubio's filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, reporting more than $1 billion in debt and less than $30 million in cash on hand. And here's the kicker. It was Rubio's second bankruptcy in just 4 years. The company's chief restructuring officer said Rubio's had been hurt by declining in-store traffic as work-from-home habits stuck around, along with rising food and utility costs, combined with major increases to California's minimum wage. Those pressures pushed many locations past the breaking point. In plain terms, fewer customers showed up, costs went up, and the math stopped working. Rubio's was eventually sold to its lenders in August 2024 for about $40 million. To put that into perspective, private equity firm Mill Road Capital bought the chain in 2010 for $91 million. In just 14 years, more than half the company's value disappeared. That's what I'd call a fire sale, literally. Now this is where the franchise level numbers get especially revealing. Alex Johnson, who operates 10 fast food locations in California, estimated the wage increase would add roughly $470,000 in labor costs across his restaurants. Nearly $500,000 in new expenses for a single operator with just 10 stores. Scott Rodrick, the same owner who shut down that San Francisco McDonald's, runs 18 McDonald's locations across California. In the 3 months leading up to the wage hike, he raised prices by 5 to 7% in anticipation. He also began delaying capital spending, dining room remodels, new grills, even replacing rooftop HVAC systems. When a business has to choose between maintaining equipment and paying workers, something in the model is fundamentally broken. Now let me tell you about the closure that hit especially hard. Foster's Freeze in Lodi, California, sits in a small town about 3 hours north of Los Angeles. The owner, Lauren Wright, had operated that location for years. On April 1st, 2024, the exact day the $20 minimum wage took effect, the doors closed for good. Some employees thought it was an April Fool's joke. They received a message in their group chat saying the store was shutting down and didn't believe it. The owner later told a local reporter that closing was the last thing he ever wanted to do. By Friday night, he realized he likely couldn't keep the store open, but he didn't want to ruin their Easter Sunday. The assistant general manager, Monica Navarro, said she found out when 2 coworkers showed up to clock in for the morning shift. That's when she got the call telling her it was over. And this is the part that really stuck with me. Monica said many of the employees she spoke with would have preferred to keep their old wage because now they don't have a job. Let that sink in. From McDonald's, he said eating at home has become more affordable and that the real battleground is the low-income consumer. When McDonald's, the brand built on cheap, convenient food, admits that home cooking is now cheaper than eating at its restaurants, something fundamental has changed. Not everyone, however, is failing. Carrie Harper Howie and her sister, Nicole, own 21 McDonald's restaurants across Los Angeles County. They operate every McDonald's in the city of Compton and employ more than 1,400 people. Their family has been in the McDonald's business since 1984, when their parents emptied their retirement savings to buy their first location. They're still operating, still hiring, and still growing. Same state, same wage laws, same economic pressures, very different outcomes. Asked about the wage increase, Carrie admitted you can't raise prices enough to fully cover the added costs. So she adapted. She assigned a supervisor to go store by store, breaking down food costs. Are too many ketchup packets being handed out? Too much sauce going on a Big Mac? That's where things are now, counting ketchup packets to survive. The pattern is clear. Higher costs lead to higher prices, fewer hours, fewer jobs, and for some businesses, permanent closures. California's fast food industry isn't dead. McDonald's still operates more than 1,400 locations statewide. Chick-fil-A drive-through lines still wrap around buildings. But the industry is changing. Workers who keep their jobs earn more per hour, but often work fewer hours. Customers pay more for the same food. Franchise owners either adapt or shut their doors. And the companies that can't make the math work simply disappear. Monica Navarro from That Foster's Freeze said something that still sticks with me. She said this isn't the first business to close. There are already several local businesses gone. She's right. And based on these numbers, there will be more. What fast food restaurants have disappeared? I'm genuinely curious what's changing where you live. And if you want to see what's happening in other California industries, I've got a video on PepsiCo shutting down a 55-year-old factory, the birthplace of Flamin' Hot Cheetos, where 432 workers showed up one day to find their jobs gone. Click that video right here.